Hello YouTube, I am here today to do a discussion for the book These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Let's go. I'm not sure if this is my first book discussion on this channel or not, but anyways, yes, I'm doing this, so you might have to excuse me until I have a little bit more practice about this, but I just love this book so much that I wanted to discuss it. Okay, time to talk about These Broken Stars. There are going to be spoilers in this review. I'm going to try to keep this first part spoiler free, and then I'll let you know when the spoilers are really coming. I'm just going to give you a very brief description, like the blurb that you get, and then when I begin to talk about it all, I'll let you know when the spoilers are coming, because I don't want to ruin this book for you. So this book is a sci-fi book, and it is a space opera, if you are familiar with that sort of genre. It's about a soldier named Tarver and a girl, a wealthy heiress named Lilac, and they are on a spaceship traveling to somewhere I can't remember, but it's basically like a luxury cruise ship. Think Titanic in space. And the spaceship crashes, and Lilac and Tarver are able to escape, and they land on this planet that appears to be uninhabited. It appears to be, you know, it seems like they're the only two on this planet, and they try to survive on this planet. And that is probably about as far as I can go without spoiling it. Obviously there's going to be some romance. That's not spoiling anything because it says it in the blurb. So at this point, after this point, spoiler warning, because to talk about it beyond this point I'm going to have to spoil some things, and if you don't want to be spoiled, then I would suggest clicking off this video now and going to read this and then coming back and watching the rest. Or if you don't mind being spoiled, then stick around with us and we'll discuss this book, and maybe it will make you have some interest in it and you want to read it. So anyways, I'm rambling. Let's go. So for anyone who has read this book, where do we begin with the romance? I really liked the romance in this book. I thought it was good. And they were an interesting sort of I didn't feel like they were a very cliche couple. I liked Tarver a lot, and I liked Lilac. She didn't irritate me in the way that sometimes heroines do. And I liked the split narrative, I guess, if you want to call it that, because half of the book is told from Tarver's perspective and half of it's told from Lilac's, and I really liked that. I liked the way their romance developed. It was kind of slower. Did anybody else like that, or was it just too slow for you? Because I know some people, maybe it dragged on a little too long, but I really liked it because it kept me reading. For anyone who has read this book, what did you think of the ending? Because I didn't understand the ending. Now the ending of this book, in case you are watching, Lilac dies, but then she comes back. But like, the aliens, I guess for lack of a better word, bring her back through, they're able to tap into different dimensions or something. So did the Lilac they brought back, was she from like, had they like ripped through time and brought her back from before when she was still wearing that blue dress? Or had they brought her back after, like, had they just recreated her? That was one thing I didn't understand about the book. And I'm sorry, this probably makes no sense, but this is the only way I know how to do a book discussion, so hopefully I'll get better at this. Probably Tarver and Lilac both make it onto my top, like, main character protagonist. I liked the way they worked together. However, Lilac's decision before she died to blow up the canisters to light the fuse herself was dumb. I was like, that is not. And sometimes you can really like a character, but you can hate the decision or decisions that they make. And that was one that I just thought that was really unnecessary. And I guess the thing about Lilac dying and then coming back was kind of like, it was really shocking, but at the same time I felt like it was kind of rushed through and it wasn't explained well enough. And maybe that's just me because I'm not familiar with sci-fi and I just was like, what's going on? And I didn't really feel like I got an answer by the end of the book how she had come back. And Tarver was really quickly accepting that it really was Lilac and not some kind of copy or creation or something. And that was like, I don't know. I guess those are the only real things that I had like an issue with in the book. The rest of it I felt like was really well written. I'm like, it kept me turning. It wasn't so sci-fi heavy like that it would like alienated me, a person who's never read sci-fi. So I'd say that if you haven't read sci-fi, this might be a good place to start because it has a lot of YA elements in it still yet, but it is sci-fi. And there is some sci-fi that I have tried to read before and I had to stop like a chapter in because it was so heavy on like describing the machines and stuff, and I was lost. I didn't get it. I didn't get the world. But this I found was just really easy to transition into. I flew through this book. I think it took me 2 days to read this book, and it has, let's see, it has about 400 pages in it. And they're not apparently making a sequel to this. I thought maybe they were, but they're writing, I guess it's going to be books within the same universe. I really wish they would tell us more about Tarver and Lilac's future, because the thing with her, they left it kind of open at the end, so I don't know if we'll get anything more about Tarver and Lilac in the future books. I kind of hope we do, because I didn't feel that same sense of like complete closure that I wanted to feel. But at the same time, sometimes I like it when a book leaves it like that, because that's really kind of how most stories in real life, we don't necessarily get closure with them. So sometimes to me that makes the story more real, but I'd still like to have some of the questions answered that I have. And if anybody knows the answers to these questions, like if you actually understood the mechanics of Lilac coming back and everything, then comment down below and explain it to me. But or if you are just as confused as I am by that part of the book, then comment down below and say this confused me as well, or something. The setting I thought was very well done. They didn't spend an overabundance of time like setting up the like world building, but I still felt like I could fall right into the story, and I felt like I could see the planet and the ship and everything. I still felt very immersed in the world, and there's not like a huge amount of world building, which for me as a reader, I don't like a ton of description with that. I know that some readers actually do like that, but I'm the type of reader where I like a little bit and I can kind of take that and imagine the rest of it without having it so much of that. And I felt like both characters, there was a lot of character building, which was really great. There is a huge difference between the Tarver and the Lilac at the beginning of this book and the Tarver and the Lilac at the end of this book. Personality and just kind of, Lilac becomes a lot stronger, and she was a strong character at the beginning of the book, I really think that, but going through all this teaches her to become stronger physically, stronger emotionally, and teaches her to kind of learn how to listen to others. And Tarver kind of softens a little bit throughout the book and learns to sort of he's very soldier-like at the beginning of the book, just moving on and, you know, not taking time to kind of, like, basically just following orders and just staying on the path, and he's not really willing to accept some of the other stuff that's going on the planet. But where Lilac is more, and he towards the end of the book finally becomes like more willing to accept that stuff, and he deals with the loss of his brother. And so there's just, what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of character building, and that's one of the best things a book, in my opinion, can do, is build its characters. And if there's strong characters, then I feel like the story, that just makes the story better. And that's one of the things I really loved about this book. So anyways, this was a little like, this wasn't very organized, I don't think. Maybe I can organize it some in editing, but anyways, so thanks for sticking with me through my first book discussion. Feel free to discuss this book below, or anything else you want to, or ask me questions or whatever, and I will reply. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you real soon.